All right, I've got minutes from August 6th for the road report, and we got minutes for the meeting with the county health nurse for August 6th as well. So road and nurse for August 6th. We need to.
I move to approve the minutes of August 6th for both.
All right, and I'll second that. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, unanimous. All right, Bear, what you got going on?
Oh, boy. Not much and a lot. Only real issue, so I had a request over the weekend, an email request come in from the website from Elkhorn Treatment Center out here wanting us to patch and repair Riverside Road. This comes up every summer, but apparently it's a new person again. Riverside Road is not a county road. It's just a public road. I've stressed that to them. We did patch it the one year that we had a bunch of dirt patch oil we needed to get rid of, so we went out and just got rid of it out there. But
Yeah.
I've tried calling them to let them know and remind them that it's on them in Riverside to get together and figure out how to fix the road. So,
You know, they should have done that when they were asphalting out here.
well, so it's not a state road. It's just a
But
public
it's the
right.
state, it's the state wanting out there. It's the state calling you, right?
Well,
Riverside.
no, it's Elkhorn now.
Oh, Elkhorn's calling you?
Treatment, yeah, so
Oh.
the private business, but
Yeah,
you know, so if these were homes, we would tell the homeowners that you
Right.
gotta get with your neighbors and figure out how to fix your road.
okay,
And
I thought
so
it was
it's
Riverside.
gonna be the same thing, and even if it was Riverside, state prisons is completely separate from MDT, and they're gonna come and do this and that.
Right, yeah,
You know, they hire contractors to come fix the prison parking lots and sidewalks all the time. That's what they need to do, is hire a contractor to come out and fix the road.
okay.
I just gotta get, and I know Riverside knows that. My friend's a sergeant out there and we talk about it all the time. They're well aware of it. This is just somebody I think new out at Elkhorn.
Yeah, if it's Elkhorn breaking, if we get a chance and we got some extra asphalt to go through in the hole, and we don't mind doing that at all.
And that's it. If we have the material that we're trying to get rid of, we can do it, but
Okay.
I'm not gonna take stuff that we're not trying to get rid of.
Right.
out
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
Yeah. Couple of grading requests, pretty common this time of year. Of course, we'll get to things as we can. And then Brett Smith left me a message yesterday. I haven't had a chance to get back to him. I got to figure out exactly which cattle guard it is, but I got one up Elkhorn Road that he says cows are walking across because it's filled in. I'm gonna get with him and run up and look and see if it's an us issue, if we filled it in with the blade or what's going on.
That road is this, we went up there 2 Sundays ago, I think. I mean, it was like a highway up there.
Yeah,
It's just, it's hammered.
traffic is insane on that road.
No kidding. Yeah, it was a Sunday, so everybody was out. Holy cow.
Yeah, and that's one that, I wish we could mill it, but we can't, but we'll definitely, I think it'll really help when we get into full swing in the spring with our, so our plan was, yeah, so we'll talk about dust pods, because that's really all our guys have been doing for the last week, is either blading roads with the pods or prepping for pods. We did Airport Road out here the other day because we had about half a day to kill, so we did that one. Holding up really well again, but like I mentioned, so we got the spray bar built for the water truck that's gonna help get a better distribution of the product when we're doing these. And I'm really confident with what we're seeing now that as we just go and blade like we normally would grade a road, instead of using water, we just use the dust pods mixed in, and it'll get mixed in as we're blading it, and it's gonna lock in that top surface. I don't know the longevity of doing it that way. We'll see in the spring how some of these roads we've already done hold up. But even if we're getting a summer out of it, we're still money ahead.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So,
You're not up there grading it every other week. Or every
yeah,
week.
you know, if it's gonna keep our dust down on every road, and it's gonna keep them together to where we're not running a grader 2, 3, 4 times a year on a road, we're gonna be way ahead. If we're getting 2 years, man, that's game changing.
That'd be awesome.
So we're gonna probably look at adding spray bars to all 3 of the water trucks, since this one's gonna work out pretty good.
Did somebody give you a design that makes it work better, or did Bill just figure it out?
No, kind of both. The dust pods have built some for their own trucks for racetracks and different things, so they gave us a general idea of what they've done. And then we, it's not rocket science, it's just a bar with nozzles and it's a Bill just made one that fit the truck and then we took their recommendation on the nozzles. So the expensive part is the nozzles, they're $45 a piece, I think, for those brass nozzles.
Cool.
So yeah, it worked out real well, pretty excited about that. We're still in the learning phase because every type of mix or material we're using has its own little characteristics, so you gotta tweak it every time. Even the dust pods guys, like, well, how do we do it? And they're like, well, we gotta just kind of get going and learn as we go. But it's going real smooth and real good. They're real easy to work with, so. I was gonna mention, I think it's gonna be coming up probably in the next couple months as a conversation with the city, because Dennis had come out and seen what we were doing. And they've got some gas tax money left over that they need to expend, and they're gonna see after they're done with the chip seal. But estimating about how many miles of road the city has, they'd probably be about $100,000 to rent the machine and buy the product and do almost all the roads in town. So I think they would be beneficial at that point.
I guess we'll see how Corbin turns out, huh? We got a good test, once we see how that holds up and.
Yeah, and so, but I think the conversation, because they just don't have the equipment and manpower to do what they would need to do. So there may be, either loaning some machinery or even a guy or two to help do a couple of the steps for them, but we'll worry about that when we get to that point. But I do have a couple guys, Whitehall guys, and Ryan went down, they got a couple potholes out by Buster's on Lower Valley, and they're gonna head down to Whitehall, they're patching down that way, so.
Don't mind me asking where they patching it there.
I don't know where they're starting at. We're just gonna be hitting.
I mean, you got a few, are you
They're
going
going up everywhere. in
Hot
Whitehall.
Springs again too, or
Some of it.
just
We're gonna
asking? I
try
haven't
and
heard
get-
anything, so.
Yeah, we're gonna try and get some more asphalt out there because it got a little thin in a couple
Yeah.
spots, but
Okay.
we just haven't been able to get asphalt yet. The plant was shut down for a week. But I'm sure they'll be out there doing some of them smaller holes there. It's gonna be everywhere in Whitehall. They
Okay.
haven't been doing much patching down there yet, so. So you had that meeting last Thursday with the BLM up High York. They had some concerns with some damage to the fence and then that berm along the creek. Once we got out and walked it with them, they agreed, like, we didn't push the berm over. There was just some loose material and stuff that looked like it had rolled. Just to kind of put them at ease when we get some time, we're gonna take the mini X or the backhoe up there and just kind of pull that berm away from the bank of the creek so that it has kind of a bench for material to stop before it rolls into the creek. And then all the fence damage, once you got out and looked, it was not us that damaged the fences. There was no greater marks or anything. The one, you could see the tire tracks from somebody coming around a corner too fast and driving through the fence. So they weren't worried about any. The only concern they had with the fence was there was a couple places where we had left a windrow of gravel just real close to it, but there was no damage or anything, so. They're pretty happy with it. They didn't even know it was a county road at the time. So they still aren't sure that it is a county road. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. One of those roads.
Yeah, speaking of those, Gina Fleming reached out to me yesterday. She's the, I don't know what her official title is. She's an engineer or something with the Forest Service, but she does a lot with right of ways and roads for the Forest Service for BBRD. She's working on, they're putting together a potential timber sale in the State Creek and Bigfoot Creek area. And so she was questioning on State Creek and Bigfoot Creek roads as far as county. As far as we know, we claim them as county right now.
Right.
And then we had a pretty good conversation about some errors on the GIS map that she received years ago. And she's looking into some of the roads up around Jack Creek and South Haggerty and some of the other roads for us. She's really easy to work with. We're all kind of on the same page that this has been an ongoing nightmare for both sides for many years, and we just want to get it fixed. She said that if there are roads that we determine are county that cross Forest Service, but we really don't have a documented easement or right of way or anything established. I can't remember the term she used, but there is an easement that they can just grant us that we can have it as a documented easement at that point, just to help clean up the records, so.
Good.
And then I'm still working with the Forest Service. I kind of got to push them a little bit more. We had a pretty good couple conversations last week, but it's kind of stalled. So I got to push them again on Little Boulder. I had a lot of people, especially down at Basin Days, approaching me about that, so. it's
Did you
something
go up and look at
I
it?
haven't
Oh,
had
you
a chance.
Oh, you didn't go up there? Okay.
Well, I went up last week and looked
Okay.
before the storm, but I was hoping to get up there
Mhm.
after the storm, the other day to look at it. And then after last night's storm, I really want to go look at it. So.
Might as well wait till today's storm goes by.
Yeah, I was going up today, but I'm not gonna go now.
Yeah, I kind of want to see how it holds together. I just, yeah, it's not enough hours in the day,
Yeah.
days in the week, so.
It takes like a half an hour to get up there, unless you're
Well,
side by
it's-
side, you know?
I went up, like I said, you can get all the way up to. I don't know what it's called, Moose Meadows or whatever, where the narrow rocky spot is. I got all the way up there in my truck.
Yeah.
But going up and coming back down and stopping and taking pictures, and it took me a good 2.5 hours to get up and back. It was that rough, so.
Well, you went all the way up, did you?
To the chute, is that what they call that?
Well,
Or
I'm
the-
thinking, are you talking Buffalo Creek that goes up past Moose Creek? right there?
Maybe,
A bridge and then at the hillside, it's open in there and then it's straight up and it's nothing but rocks. If you
yeah,
go up towards Shields and Ironside.
yeah, where Larry Latin wants us to go blast.
Are you kidding me?
He thinks
It's
that we need
that,
to go
it's
blast.
that bad part before Shields and Ironside, that's where everybody turns around because it's so bad.
Exactly.
And
There used to be that last right-hand turn before you get up to that rocky chute. There's always a bog in that corner.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I turned out. was
Oh,
right
yeah,
before that
you
little
got through the
bog.
first one up Buffalo and then right in between it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember all of the.
Let's sit down. I don't even know if we can go up there. I don't know. It's just at the foot of that hill.
Yeah, so right below Buffalo Creek is,
Yeah. And over there is where Toza's cabin is. Across
so I
the-
think it's, this is your cabin there at that Largy Estate or whatever it is.
Yes,
Yeah, so I was up past that.
you went up that way straight up? Okay, up
That
towards,
was past your cabin.
towards Berry's Meadow, I mean, up that way.
I didn't go up that road, no.
Well, that one, that's a bugger.
what's that called?
That
Shields
road,
and Ironside, is that?
Shields and Ironside
Oh,
is
that's
if you
the-
stay on the main road and veer to
That's
the
the
left.
line right there, yeah.
and keep
What's
on
the one that
going.
goes over to Berry's Meadows? What's that road called?
What is that? It's eight. What is it, eight?
I don't remember.
Can't remember that designated number, but it goes up to the old mine site up there where the Merces used to have their cabin, the old mine site, what's it called?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big deal, I just couldn't remember the name of it up there.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think the road actually has a name. The old road in there was called, I mean, on here it says Upper Elder Creek, but
Really?
that's Moose Creek.
Didn't was quick, I wasn't sure.
Maybe it's the name of the mine up there, there's a name of that.
Yeah, that mine, that's what I'm trying to think of, I can't think.
The one that goes up behind Mount Pishka.
Yeah, it's before Pisgah up there, as you get up towards the top and then you got a choice to either go right or shoot to the left of Pisgah. If you go right, you go to Berry's Meadows. That mine up there on top. The one where their cabin burned down.
Oh, Eureka?
Yes, Eureka
that's
Mine,
probably
thank you.
right, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that road follows Moose Creek and then it goes up over to Wilson Creek and down into the old road into
Never been in there.
Elder Creek, but that's all closed. You're not supposed to be up in some of that.
Well, that's where I've been, they're making their route through there, but you know. That's not your locals either.
Yeah, that's kind of all we really got right now, just trying to get through dust spots the next 2 weeks. Just depends on how fast it goes up there to, if we get to do any extracurricular stuff with it, but
Be nice if you rip through it and you got another couple extra days to do something else.
yeah, I told him I'd rather get it nice than get it done fast, so he doesn't have a project lined up after us immediately, so we've got a little extra time if it takes us a little longer, but if we can get done and have the time, we might jump to another road, just depending on how things are looking.
Tizer.
No. is gonna jump farther north if we can, but.
Jeff City or something, I saw where somebody asked me a question about gravel or something. I know Spring Creek, you ever said, you're not putting gravel on Spring Creek, are you? It's up higher, isn't it? Towards the cemetery? Is that my understanding?
We're not putting gravel on any of it.
Yeah,
We're
somebody
turning it
said
all back. to
gravel.
gravel. Well, we're turning it all back to gravel.
Okay.
So Corbin and Spring Road, that's all kind of chip seal right now. We're
Right.
turning that back to gravel
Oh, okay.
with the mill.
With
Wow.
dust pods.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be sort of like what it is now, but you're going to grab it and redo it, right?
Yeah, but
With that polymer
it
stuff?
won't be asphalt.
Oh, it won't be.
Yeah, we're not putting asphalt or chip seal back on it. And,
So it'll have a hard surface on it though?
you know,
Is that sort of how it is?
That's the plan. That's the whole. If it does what it says it's gonna do, yeah, it'll
I'd
be
be
a hard
curious to see
surface
that
gravel
one.
road.
Okay.
So,
On surface
Where
gravel.
do you start? Spring Creek or you gonna?
yeah, they're on Spring Street right now. So,
Or, yeah, okay.
yeah, they're on that right now, and they're gonna go up Depot and then do around the dump and.
Okay.
Then we'll start on Corbin, and go all the way up through Wicks. So I
Interesting.
don't think that we're gonna be able, there's that short stretch of Wicks from where the bus turnaround is up past those last couple houses that are always wanting dust oil, and I don't think that material is good enough for us to mill. I think there's too much rock. But while we're there with the truck and the product, we'll hit it with the grader just to get it into the dirt and help with the dust on that. I think it's only 100 yards or 200 yards or so, but.
Probably help stabilize it.
Yeah, and there's a gal that lives there with some health issues that they're always asking about dust oil
Yeah.
every year. And some years we hit it and some years the guys forget about it. And so if we can at least get it into it just to help cut the dust down, if nothing else,
Yeah.
while we're there, it's not gonna be hard. We'll have something left on the truck that we can get it in there and just kind of blend it in and roll it.
Lump Gulch would be a good place to hit if you got time, but that's a long road there.
Yeah, Lump Gulch, but it may be worth. Lump was one, and then, or at least the lower section of it, maybe up to, I don't know if we could get, it just all depends on time. you know,
Right.
Up to Sheep Mountain or, Travis Turnoff or,
Oh, wow, it's probably Buffalo.
Hills Brothers was another one that was on my list, just because we're always having issues with that one, but
Have you figured out if you gotta make more than 2 swaths with the grinder or
3,
gotta do 3?
yeah, so
Go
it's
down each side.
just under 8 foot.
Oh, okay,
So to hit our 24-foot width, we gotta run 3.
gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Good. See, Carrie asked me about Boulder River Road, if you can bump the Forest Service on that, I guess they haven't done anything.
They're
with that.
supposed to be there right now.
Are they?
I believe they were, because when I talked to Jeremiah last week about Little Boulder, they were just finishing on Lowlands.
Okay.
And then they were gonna go to Little Boulder, or not Little Boulder, but to Boulder River.
Okay,
They should be
perfect.
up there now. If they're not there now, then
Hmm.
next week, but their crew's been busy jumping back and forth between road projects and fire projects. So
Right.
They're behind schedule.
Okay. Did you have a chance to look at Old Alhambra, that little piece there?
I haven't been up there. I know what it looks like. I'm sure it's rough,
Big mud
but,
hole.
I had talked to Dylan about that, let him know next time we're up there to go ahead and blade it, and he reminded me that that's the one that,
You could
Gruber,
screen that every.
yeah, every time we're on that, Gruber and one of the other neighbors comes out and gives them a very hard time about it. And
Well,
saying
next
that-
time he's up there, have my cards in his pocket to give them and say, you call Corey,
Yeah,
so I can explain that's a county
I
road.
need to get some of those. I don't think I have them.
You don't have any more, okay?
I don't know if I ever did.
Never did?
I'll just
Whole
always give them
pile
my
of them on
card.
Helen's desk there.
I'll go grab some. I just give them my card. I did tell Shaylee, she's up flagging with them because we needed an extra hand, but I told her if we get complaints about what we're doing up there to call the commissioner's office,
Yep,
so. I haven't read the article in the Monitor yet, so I don't know how that turned out, but
that sounded good.
Mhm.
Chick seemed to understand why we were doing it, so I think it would turn out all right.
Yeah, well, it gets everybody thinking about our budget because did you read that article about Missoula County that I
I
sent you?
haven't had a chance yet. I need to,
They're trying to pass a special levy just for roads.
yeah.
just because their roads are falling behind, just like ours, so it's not just us.
No, it's every county. I talked to, being on the Macri board, I talked to all the supervisors in every county, and it's just not county, it's the cities too that are
Mhm.
struggling. And it's
Yeah.
just not Montana, it's all over the country. Everybody, roads are the forgotten department, everybody wants the roads, but they don't realize the extreme rise in cost of doing business that the road departments are facing right now with the technology involved in the equipment. You look at even your pickups have gone from a $20,000, $30,000 vehicle to a $50,000, $60,000 vehicle. Graders have gone from 200 to 400, 500,000. Snowplows have gone from 100 to 300,000.
Yep.
We were buying chips for, I want to say it was $15 a ton when I first started 4.5 years ago. And we're now, I think it was $35 a ton was the last quote we got. Gravel's more than doubled in price. Salt, sand's almost doubled in price. We're pretty fortunate with our setup that we have with Valley, with that mix that we bought up on McClellan. And with the deal, we kind of worked with them with our sand and salt, that we're getting almost half the cost of what a private contractor's getting from Valley.
Yeah.
So they're taking very good care of us, and it's saving us because we wouldn't be able to buy it what we normally would if we were paying what everybody else is paying.
Mhm. That's good. Yeah, so hopefully they'll talk about this in the legislative session this year.
I
'Cause
hope so.
They yanked that marijuana tax out from under us. That wasn't a lot, but it would help.
Every bit, a little bit helps, but we need a lot to fix it.
Yeah.
Even just from an equipment standpoint, you're talking, we need 8 new snowplows at $300,000 a piece.
Right. Yeah,
It's just not gonna happen. We can use a couple more graders at 420,000 a piece.
asphalt roads is a thing of the past.
For us, I'm
Yeah.
afraid it's gonna be,
Even chip sealed roads is getting to be,
yeah.
the road I live on now, the Earth Angel Road there. I'm thinking, man, this is gonna need chip seal at some point, but
It was done 7 years ago.
yeah.
Hmm.
The cracks are just getting bigger and bigger and
Cause I did it with the state. We did Basin, Maine, and we had enough left over that we did it, and I was starting state. But it would have been about 7 years ago, but, cause it's a state road, but it's not a priority for me.
oh, it is a state road, the Earth Angel one that goes up there? Oh, I thought it was county. You guys just plow it off or,
We don't plow it.
oh, you don't? When it's state, I thought it was county, okay,
The state plows that,
okay.
yeah, so don't complain to me. Cause I would always turn around in the Earth Angel driveway, was our turnaround.
Yeah. Cool, all right. You got anything for Bear? Francis, you got anything for Bear? Any road issues? Did you drive over the Whitetail this morning?
I did not.
It shouldn't be that bad.
Haven't been on that.
It's a little rough because we beat it up pretty good when we were hauling off there, but we started to grade it last week on that lower section to kind of clean it up. And then we got a flat on the grader, so that shut him down. So there's still a stretch from about Farnham Creek to the bottom of the last steep hill that needs to be touched up, but I want to go see how that hill's holding up too. Since we dust potted that, it was pretty solid.
Is that the steep hill there that you did?
Yeah, the last hill before you crest the top.
Yeah, the steep one where everybody wrecks.
Marker 20, yep, everybody.
I
there.
know that it washboarded up a little bit, but it was kind of. They did it a little, they didn't do it the way they should have done it, so I think it's hard, but it kind of washboarded a little bit, but it's not as bad as it normally was.
Experimentation, we'll dial
Yeah,
it in here as we get more used to it.
yeah, and the nice thing about it is we can always kind of fix it, we can still go grade it. Even though it's got the pods in it, we can still go put some water on it and regrade it.
Okay, that's
Clean it
good.
up and pack it in again, and it's still there,
Nice.
it's not going away,
You did the dust pods on the whitetail?
just on a small section of it. So we did the very first. From the edge of the asphalt there by Hot Springs Road up past Donna's driveway a few hundred feet. And so just that first maybe eighth of a mile, and that's holding together really well. And then where the real steep hill is before you crest up to the top and start to drop over, we did that a few weeks ago just because we were hauling up there. Like I say, it kind of washboarded up after they did it because they didn't have straight water to soften it up enough to cut it, so they got it pretty soggy. And so it got a little bit of washboard in it as it dried, but it wasn't near as bad as it was before we did it. So.
My Jeep with this fishtail all over that road with the washboard.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's does. It's a rough road. I wish that the certain individuals wouldn't have stepped in and not let the state fix the road.
Yeah. Would have been a highway over there though.
I gotta get with the state too, because they've been talking to dust pods about using on certain MDT roads. But I think that would be a good option for them on the lower section of the Whitetail, where they just spent whatever it was, $3-4 million to rebuild it. They ought to look at doing that since they can't dust oil it every year.
Right.
To help hold that, because that comes apart bad, that material does, so.
It stuck together good for a couple of years,
Well, that's because they put so much mag on it the first year, it held together, but once that faded, it just falls apart, as soon as you blade it. If they were to, I mean, it's only, 8-mile stretch, 8-9 mile stretch, and they'd be into it $100,000 to come in with the new, not even that, it'd be probably cost them about 50-60 grand to bring the machine in and just, treat that whole section of road, and they would hold up for at least a year, maybe long, maybe a lot longer.
yeah, once we get ours done and it works well, we'll be able to advocate for that, for the state too, I guess.
Yeah. There's quite a few counties I thought you would not. I think at least 40% of the counties in Montana are starting to use dust pods. And there's more of them jumping on board. So,
Cool.
there's gotta be something to it.
Yep.
You didn't get any more phone calls on Prairie Dog, Road, are we good there?
No, we're good there.
Okay.
Yeah. As far
And
as I
then,
know.
I mean, just so I know, I mean, I'll just bring it up, I mean, you got that text or that email from me yesterday.
Yep, and I
there's-
guess some people need to just remember conversations because we had talked about it.
Does everybody know? In all
As
the
far as I
departments?
knew that they knew.
Okay, because my understanding is they don't.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I know for a fact he knew about it, because they had asked me if their trucks were out of the way. And I thought me and Jill had talked about it, I know Shayla knew about it, and we had left the cones over enough so people could come in and get their material.
yeah,
We had people coming in and getting weed stuff.
yeah, I was told they had to transport it into the parking lot next door, over to the dollar store. It's just communications.
Yeah, nobody bothered to ask me, but I know I mentioned it to them.
I mean, to cover your toes, just do me the favor and send out an email, and I don't care if you forward it on to us, at least we know, that way there's no.
It should have never happened again. Anyways. We shouldn't be doing that.
It should
Be
last a
done,
while.
yeah. That road's gonna be. That's gonna save so much wear and tear on our plows just coming in and out of our own driveway. The amazing part to me yesterday was how many people went around our cones and road closed signs to come into Odyssey. And then would come down into us and ask how they're supposed to get into the dollar store because we had cones blocking the driveway.
I saw
And
it.
it's like, you drove around one sign, why not drive around the other? But their actual driveway is on the other road.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Should have had a sign that said dollar store now and there.
I told them I'm gonna put up a barricade and make people use the other one. That's supposed to be from the city side, that entrance on Odyssey was supposed to be their just emergency egress. That's why it's a smaller approach.
Right.
And they were supposed to sign the other road as their entry, like, Family Dollar entrance and all that, but they are not willing to work with anybody. And then their manager put out a very friendly post on Facebook about our road work yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is.
No, and the only reason I was asking you right now is because of Jeff City. I know you're gonna have somebody complaining up there, they can't get to the dump, they can't do this, they can't.
Well,
do
they can
that.
get there, the road's not closed.
How far you're going up, are you going up that back way on spring?
We're doing all of our roads in Jefferson City area, with the exception of, we're not doing Finn Gulch because that needs a lot
Oh,
of major
yeah, I
work.
understand that.
And then I'm not sure if we're gonna be doing any of Corbin through the town and up to the trestle.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to, and if we have time, we might at least do from, up to the trestle.
Oh.
But I don't know that we will, because we're not really having issues with that stretch of road. But all of Spring Street, all of Depot, and all of Jefferson Street, Corbin, Wicks, so. But yeah, none of the roads are closed up there. We got flaggers for traffic control. Everybody can get to where they need to go.
No, and I agree with you. I'm going through Corbin. I was up there Sunday. They just go a little faster. The road looks good to me. Right up through Corbin, so I'm with you on that.
But it'll be entertaining to see what happens, because somehow up there, people got it in their head that we're paving everything.
Oh, yeah.
My friend that lives in Metal Art, he reached out to me like, no, we're turning it to gravel, and he's excited for that. But like he is, he's not a fan of the people that live up there, so.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's changed
Yeah.
a lot.
Thanks, Bear.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work. Keep your skin thick.
Yeah.
If I get up to Little Boulder before you do, I'll let you know.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So,
I may end up getting up there sooner rather than later. I got my family's coming in Thursday, so I might end up taking the day off and running up there with them,
okay.
just for a joyride. So. See what happens.
Let me know if you see any elk.